My school has ever gone on to be a professional athlete.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a big thing in my school is like everybody was like super focused on football. Like, yeah. But the thing is it was such a small school, like literally they didn't even do tryouts. It was if you wanted to be on the team, you were. And if they didn't get enough people, they just didn't have a team that year.
I was on the football team in middle school,
Yeah?
and I was cut on the second day.
Wow.
I was terrible.
Oh, I was terrible. I played every sport.
No.
I was terrible at all of them, but they couldn't cut me. They literally didn't have enough people to cut anyone.
Yeah, no.
So that was my only reason that I was ever in like school sports. And so many of them thought like I'm gonna get like a football scholarship. I'm gonna go on to do football in college. It's like, guys, we're a fucking B3 school. We're not going. None of us are going to go do anything in college that's gonna be worthwhile sports-wise. I know why any of you are focusing on this. Like, it was depressing to see. But another example from the book was one morning before walking 20 miles to school, he looked through his cupboards. There was nothing in them except one packet of orange Kool-Aid, so he made it and drank it, and that was his breakfast. And that's 100% what it's like living there. Everybody's broke as shit. All of the parents are just drunk from the night before, passed out, and that was just life in that area.
That's where he screwed up. You don't do that. You don't make it and drink it.
You just take the packet.
No, you put that on bread and then you pinch the edges so the powder doesn't.
Oh, there was no bread. That packet was literally the only thing in the cupboards. Like,
Man,
just...
even Bundy's had it better than you.
That's what I'm talking about. It fucking sucked in that area. I was better off because my mom didn't drink. That was pretty much the only reason why. Granted, she probably did meth. I found that out a lot later. Because I found out that the guy that she was dating for most of that and that who she has 3 kids with was her meth dealer. And I don't know why I never made that connection until well after when my sibling told me about it. But, yeah. I was also that business, but god damn, I need to watch Smoke Signals again because everybody in my school also loved that because it was the only movie about that area and the only movie that actually like understood what life was like in that area, because that's what it was like. There's like a scene in that movie like where there's like these 2 girls who like are backing out of their driveway, but their driveway is like fucking 4 miles long. And that's just, they're just backing up and they're just doing it nonchalantly because they're not going to run into another car for like 4 days. So it doesn't fucking matter. And literally, they were 2 girls I knew in high school. Like, it was the exact same people. Like, they acted exactly the same. And it just all the people in that movie are people I could, like, exactly like people I knew in that area. So it was just such a weird place, and like it was such a weird environment because I ended up like as a kid I didn't give a shit about like race or anything because you're a kid, you don't fucking care. And then like when I actually started to notice shit like that, it's like, well, I'm in high school and most of the kids around me are native except for like these couple of transfer students. We actually had like transfer students, like a couple from Korea and like one from I think Haiti. His name was Juan Taban. He was super cool. He was super serious all the time, but he was like the only black person who was ever at our school. And everybody liked him a lot. He was super cool. He was just like always very serious about shit. But yeah, that was just the environment I grew up in. And it was like, okay, that's just how it is. Like everything kind of sucks for everybody and we're just dealing with it.
Dude, he just rode up.
Wow.
That was cool.
It's fucking cool that he actually stayed not afloat, what would you call it? I don't know.
Astride?
Yes, astride.
I'm surprised it rolled that long.
Yeah.
So going back to Star Wars.
Star Wars.
The clones.
The clones?
The soldiers are all clones of Jango Fett, right?
In the first wave of them, at least.
Oh, dude, get out from in front of the helicopter so I can shoot it.
Like by the time the original trilogy was happening, I feel like it was diluted enough that there were people who were not Jango.
In the later movies of the prequels, it's still these clones. Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, because the clones don't actually come into play into like the 3rd movie.
But you never see the clones in like civilians. I did not die at the line.
You don't see the clones in the movies.
They were never in the civilian world.
But there was Clone Wars, the show, where it delved deeper into that. And D. Bradley Baker, who's one of my, like, probably my favorite voice actor. He's a great talent. He plays all of the clones, right? But they're all different people. So he plays them all slightly differently, but they all have the same voice.
Whoa.
And they all get treated as unique people. And they all have, like, their own quirk, because they are all... fucking Clone Wars, the show, is so much better than anything the prequels ever did, even though it, like, takes place around the same time.
Yeah, well... Man, I'm just, like, thinking back to, Star Wars. I think the Emperor was the good guy.
Oh, sure.
I think the Jedi were the villains.
I mean, yeah, honestly, like, the only reason in those movies that you think of the Jedi as the heroes is because they try and, like, put them in that light. But really, if you look at it from either perspective...
religious extremists that are militant.
Well...
Literal militant, extreme religious zealots who, like, in the first prequel, Palpatine is not at all, as far as they can prove, a villain. Like,
no.
He's done nothing that they can prove wrong. But the minute he's elected emperor, they're all like, we can't let this happen.
Yeah, the only reason you think of him as a villain is because you've already seen the original, so you know he's supposed to be the villain. But the thing is, one of the things that, I mean, it's only, like, actually detailed in a very ham-fisted way with the line where Anakin is just like, from my perspective, the Jedi are evil. And that's, like, a really stupid, ham-fisted line. But really, that's one of the few things the prequels did kind of decently, was, like, in reality, you could look at it from either perspective and see either side as being, like, morally ambiguous. Like,
so, with the exception of the Empire, like, or the Emperor doing that trade deal bullshit.
Right.
He really didn't do anything evil.
Yeah.
Like, he did some political shit, but he never did evil.
Even the greatest, like, heroes in actual history have had to do some dubious political shit to get things where they need to be.
And so, what does he do? He unites the, like, fucking everything, and then, you know, consolidates power, takes it away from the religious zealot group, and ensures essentially peace.
Yeah.
At no point do you actually see them use the Death Star offensively. It's always when their hand is pushed.
Yeah.
Like, he never...
Like, they really do try and, like, they use it as, like, they use it as a threat, which is certainly, like, morally great, but at the same time, it's like they only use it as, like, a last resort. Like, we are trying to give you as much of an out as we possibly can with this. Like, you need to do this for us, or our hand will be forced to do this.
Yeah.
And they fucking don't, like, they just stick by their guns.
At no point.
For no reason. Like, it doesn't look at any point like, is anybody really, like, struggling under the fucking Empire? Not necessarily. Not like...
We're not even given a real reason for, like, the rebels to...
Like, the people
rebel.
are struggling on Tatooine, but people always struggle on Tatooine. Tatooine's a shitty place to live because it's a fucking desert. Like, yeah, there's struggle, but, like, there really doesn't seem to be any specific reason that the Empire couldn't be doing any better. Like, this was something with Emperor's New Groove, which is a slight tangent, but it's like, with Emperor's New Groove, if you've seen that, Yzma's not really a villain. Because honestly, if you look at it, what does she want? She wants to be the Emperor. But if you look at it, she's no more, like, harsh an Emperor than Kuzco was. And by the end, if she hadn't done anything, Pontius Village would be fucking destroyed. And Kuzco would have still continued to be a shitty person. Because she fucking did what she did, Pontius Village was saved, and Kuzco became a much better person. Like, literally nothing she did was really that evil. Like, she meant to kill him, but he was a tyrant. Like, he honestly should have been assassinated. And, like, yeah, she's no better, but it's like, she's no better. Like, it's not like anything she was doing was any more negative than him. Yeah. So it's like, it's the same thing. It's like, why is the rebellion any more fit to be... The rebellion and the Jedi's any more fit then
What are they
because they
rebelling
say
against exactly? Like,
right,
You're not
what's
exactly-
wrong with the Empire other than like technically you can't contest anything they do, so they could do something awful, but they
But
never
they
really
haven't.
illustrate. Yeah, they don't really illustrate what horrible things they've done.
and honestly, like at no point are they ever actually openly, blatantly evil. They're just
Right.
literally trying to help people. For whenever you see them actually doing things, they're trying to help.
And was the universe really like? If you look at the prequels, it does no good work of making it look like the world was better off before the Empire. Like,
No,
it
'cause-
sucks that they were in war, yeah, but the reason they were at war was because of the rebellion. If the rebellion wasn't there, they wouldn't have needed to use the Death Star to begin with.
And the thing is, like with the new
Alderaan
Star
would,
Wars-
if it wasn't for Leia, rebelling, Alderaan would still be there. All those people would still be alive if they hadn't done anything. And it didn't seem like Alderaan was doing all that bad under the Empire, at least not in any way they showed.
she was looking for love in all the wrong places.
Fucking story of my life, sister.
Like that's why she was trying to date her brother. And like that's like
Fair.
that was the Jedi. Fucking split up a family.
Yeah.
And like how
Because
did
of balance, because we're trusting Yoda to understand how balance works,
And
like yeah, they
Yoda-
can do magic, and that is kind of a good evidence that they might have something, like they might be right on some end, but they're probably not 100% right on all of this shit.
What the fuck is the thing I'm looking for?
And even looking at like Anakin did bring balance to the Force. He brought the dark side back into power so that it could contest the Jedi. Balance.
And the thing is, like, they call it a dark side, but it's really just the same force. Just used, like, oh, well, we have lightning and we have mind control.
Yeah,
Like,
they're more
the Force-
violent and they're more like aggressive with it, but is that
No.
really any different?
But think about this, though. What's more, like, I would rather get tased than have somebody control my brain.
Yeah, that's more fucked up to fuck with someone's free will over just like attacking them outright. Because like,
Like,
at the
I
very
can defend
least,
myself against the lightning. I can't defend myself against you fucking with my brain.
unless you're a Troidarian. Jedi mind tricks no work on Troidarians. Fucking
Because you're so smart? Sure.
is all in this nose. It blocked the trick.
But like, it's like in Yoda.
Yes.
Like, if we're going with the religious extremists and they're the villains, that makes so you've got a discolored hero leader who can't speak English properly, doesn't like it if you can't succeed at something, and like do or do not, there is no try.
Right.
I'm sorry, Yoda's Trump.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. This is the thing, it's like, the Empire wasn't actually that bad. The power vacuum they created, which created... In fact, thinking about it this way,
Second
with the
Order.
new movies, what is it,
The New Order, yeah.
Yeah, the New Order, they're much worse, because they actually are kidnapping children and making child soldiers. Like, they actually are genuinely
And
terrible
they
in
are-
demonstrable ways. And
And
they were only
destroyed
created...
entire governments. Like, they actually killed people instead of taking power.
Yeah, because
politically.
the thing, and the only reason they exist is because of the power vacuum created by destroying the Empire, who weren't actually, like, anywhere near as terrible as the Order is.
Yeah.
So
like,
that is fully on the shoulders of the rebels.
And then the rebels are like, we have to stop them. Like, you created them.
Yeah.
And you're the reason they exist.
Like, this, much as I don't want to agree with Trump, like, he's the second president now going back on his promises of bringing people back from the war, but it's like, it is true, we've created this fucking insurgency which would create this massive power vacuum if we didn't remain there, but it's like, it is our fault that it all began, but like, it's the same situation. We don't know what the fuck, who's gonna take over if we fucking leave there without establishing a fucking uncontested democracy, but democracy fucking takes a long ass time to work out. Like, the reason that fucking Hitler came to power is that fucking the government in Germany was a very